Dangerously Incompetent here with another newbie guide for World of Tanks. This episode, shooting into the air. Are we celebrating? I'm driving the Type 91 on mines. We're in a Tier 3 battle. And I'm currently equipped with its first gun, which is a bit derpy and has a very, very slow shot, which you'll be able to see in a while. Now, whenever you fire a gun, a cannon, if you fired, pointing your barrel straight at the enemy tank and fired, you'd never hit it unless it was really, really close. But why? Because your shell's affected by gravity, and it'll drop down, be pulled down by gravity, and plough into the ground long before it ever reaches a tank. So, with that in mind, you should obviously aim up a bit. And the further a tank is away, the more you should aim up, right? Wrong. Because your gunner automatically adjusts your aim for you. When you fire, your gunner works out the distance to the target under your reticule, and then he pushes the barrel up a little bit to compensate for gravity, so that you don't have to worry about that when you're shooting. So I'm pointing straight at the Panzer 1C. When I fire, the distance between me and the Panzer 1C is worked out. How much the shell is going to drop due to gravity over that distance is worked out, and then the barrel is pushed up a little bit to compensate, and your shot ends up going on target. Now, that's all well and good, but there is a particular situation where it becomes a problem. And that is when you're leading the enemy tank. When they're driving full pelt across your field of vision, then you have to lead the tank. You have to shoot at where it's going to be when your shot arrives there. Especially with a gun like this, where the shot is really, really slow. You end up having to lead them by quite a lot. And in that case, when you fire, you're aiming considerably in front of the tank. So when you fire, your gunner looks down the reticule and goes, "Oh, he's pointing at those hills, really far away. I'm going to have to push the gun barrel up a long way to compensate for that." And so he does. And so even if you've led the enemy tank right, and your shot passes through where they're going to be, you're going to miss because your gunner's up the barrel to account for the distance to those hills, and your shot goes sailing right over his head. Now, in a minute or so, I intend to show you this in actuality. You can see here I've got my target on the T-18, and you can see my shot arcing as it slowly wends its way towards the target. Panzer 1C, they're a bit fast. I'm having to aim in front of him, and there. Did you see it? Went straight over his head. Let's see that again. Best time. So there's the T-18. Here comes the Panzer 1C. Let's slow it down a bit. Now, it's traversing my field of vision. It's Panzer 1C. He's going full pelt. It's going really fast. I'm going to have to lead this shot quite a bit. Let's get that map out of the way a bit more. There he is. You can just see him. You can see where the marker is. So I'll try and gauge my lead time. Come on, move that barrel. And there. Did you see when I fired? You can see the red dot, that's where I was aiming. The green dot, my gunner moved the barrel up, and there you go. Shot sails way over his head because the gunner thinks I'm aiming at those hills far, far away. Drat, he got away. Well, I knew about this effect, so I shouldn't have taken that shot. What I should have done is either picked another target. Well, there's that cruiser, but can't shoot him from here. Or I should have aimed for the ground just in front of the Panzer 1C and relied on the splash effect from my HE shell, high explosive shell. See that burst radius, 0.94? I should have relied on that burst radius to splash damage the Panzer 1C, even though I didn't hit him directly. I'd hit the ground next to him. So, don't be like me. When you've got to lead the tank, put your reticule on something that's a similar distance. If you don't have high explosive, aim just beyond where the enemy tank is going to be when your shell arrives. So you're aiming at the ground past him, in which case the shell's trajectory will take it through the enemy tank. So good luck with that. And oh dear, I think we're going to lose. Never mind, eh? I've learnt a lesson.